Being full-time RVers, there's a lot of stuff we carry with us. A lot of the stuff I consider essential for about all RVers. And in this video, I want to share those things with you. I think I'm going to do another video after this that's going to be kind of the niceties, things that I consider creature comfort items that most RVers want to have. I'll do that in a separate video, so you may want to hit that subscribe button so you can follow along and not miss that at a later date. But right now, let's just get into the things that I consider essential for most all RVers. Now here's a must-have, and that's a good sewer hose. There are a lot of sewer hoses out in the market. There are the really cheap ones. Those are the ones you want to walk right by. I don't care if you're going to save $1 or $2. Leave those cheap sewer hoses on the shelf or in your basket. You don't want them. Then there are those sewer hoses that are really, really expensive. And they're probably pretty good hoses. But a lot of those really expensive hoses are hard to manage come travel day. And for example, they just don't condense down to a manageable size to put away and control. Even putting them out, using them, they can be kind of wiry and they have a mind of their own and hard to deal with. So we have found that the Rhino-Flex hose is a happy medium. The Rhino-Flex hose is a good quality hose that lasts a long time if you take care of them, and at a good value. So it's just a good happy medium for us. We've been using Rhino-Flex hose for roughly 12 years now, I'm guessing, and we see no reason to change away from Rhino-Flex hose. Just a good durable hose that has done us very well. Not that something can't happen to the Rhino-Flex hose, but it is a good happy medium hose. Now once again, you can find that down our Amazon store in case you're interested, but do your own research, but leave those cheapies on the shelf. Another thing you're going to need is a sewer hose stand. Most people call them slinkies. Two main reasons. Number one, you want your stuff flowing away from your coach down to the sewer receptacle at the campground, right? You want that stuff to flow away and not be all caught up in your hose. Number two, there are a lot of campgrounds around the country that require you to keep your sewer hose off of the ground. Therefore, that slinky keeps that sewer hose up off the ground. And having your sewer hose up off the ground also keeps it away from those maintenance workers that are mowing or weed eating, that they don't hit your sewer hose with their line trimmer or whatever else. Just keeps it a little bit more protected. Think about it, a sewer hose stand. Yeah, we do have one down in the Amazon store. Check it out. I want to toss in a couple of sewer hose tips. A couple of things I thought about after shooting that sewer hose clip. That's a tongue twister. Only because in that sewer hose clip, I only showed you 10 foot of hose. And I want you thinking you're going to get by with 10 foot of sewer hose. I would say the minimum in sewer hose you want to carry with you would be 20 foot. We actually carry 40 foot with us. Now, only one time in almost 11 years and over 400 campgrounds have we had to use an entire 40 foot of sewer hose, but it did happen once. And there have been other times where I've sprung a leak in a sewer hose, and I was very happy to have those other sections on hand to get us by that situation. Another thing I want to mention is carry a donut with you. Now I'm going to spin you around and show you a donut. I don't have my gloves on, so I don't want to take it out of this container. You see that little black piece down in there? Now that is called a donut. So sometimes you go to a campground, either the receptacle at the campground does not have threads in it or the threads have been stripped out. You may want to use this donut to put the bayonet section down into. That gives you that airtight and watertight seal that you're going to want at a campground. So keep that in mind. Carry at least 20 foot of sewer hose. More is better. And have that donut with you, not for breakfast, but so you have that airtight, watertight seal that you want to have while at a campground. There you go. A couple extra tips. Another thing you're going to want are some good rubber gloves. You're going to want rubber gloves mainly when you mess around with your sewer hoses. You're going to find other times that some good rubber gloves will come in handy. I used to buy all my rubber gloves through a local hardware store or Home Depot, Lowe's, that kind of thing. But it seemed like over the COVID period, when it got hard to find rubber gloves, it seemed like the quality went down some for me. So I started searching around a little bit more, and I found these, I think it's pronounced Okias. See right there, Okias. I found these on Amazon, and I tell you what, these are so strong that there are actually times that if I hook up the septic and I didn't have any water or whatever else come out of the hoses, I take these off, I set them aside, I use them again when I put the septic away. Saves on money, and they're just that durable. They really hold up. There is a link down below in our Amazon store in case you're interested. Good rubber gloves. Something else I think all people that have tow behinds should have, and that's wheel chocks. I happen to use a pair of these rubber wheel chocks. They're nice and heavy. They don't skid on concrete. They don't skid on asphalt. I think they're the best way to go. But I have personally used, and I know other people have used, chunks of wood, firewood, dimensional lumber, plastic wheel chocks, you name it. I'm sure all of you might have been using the same things, but it's important to use wheel chocks regardless of what you do. Again, I prefer these heavy-duty rubber wheel chocks with ropes on there so it's easy to get them out when it's time to move. Just because, again, they don't skid on concrete and things like that. So I do have these also in our Amazon store if you care to check those out. Take a look at them. Wheel chocks. You need them. Now this is mainly geared toward people with tow behinds, so fifth wheels and trailers. I think anybody with a tow behind should have a good torque wrench. Check with your manufacturer, see what the proper torque is on your lug nuts, and check them periodically. It's really important if you pick up a brand new trailer or you just had some work done with your tires where the wheels came off. I recommend you stop after 50 miles, 75 miles, torque them down. You'll probably get some movement. Check them again sometime during your first day of travel. You'll probably get a little bit movement again. And then I check them every morning for the next few days on travel. Now once they're all set in and we travel for a few days, I might check our lug nuts on the first day of travel. So if we park for a month or 2 or 3, I will always check the lug nuts before we take off. Now I picked up this torque wrench off Amazon. This is an E-torque. It's not the highest end torque wrench, but it's a good quality torque wrench. If you're interested in this at all, there is a link down below in our Amazon store. Check it out. Be safe. Another very important thing you want to think about is a water pressure regulator. I've tried a few different water pressure regulators, everything from these inexpensive $7 doodads that are preset PSIs, just screw them on and you're done with it, all the way up to the ultra expensive water pressure regulators. And I've had a few of the ultra expensive regulators leak on me. So I decided to go ahead and try out the Renator. See it right there, the Renator. This is a adjustable water pressure regulator, which I think is very important. And I tell you what, I've had this one for over 2 years now. No issues at all, no leaks, nothing at all. That actually has lasted longer than any of the others I've tried. So again, not the most expensive one on the market, but a good reliable water pressure regulator. Water pressure around the country can get pretty darn high in the RV parks. Once in a while, the RV parks will actually supply a water pressure regulator. You don't want to count on that. A lot of the newer rigs have the PEX lines in the coaches, and they can handle a lot more water pressure. But especially for some of the older coaches, they don't have that. So anyway, I don't care what coach you have, a good water pressure regulator is a must. Once again, if you're interested to check this one out, it is in our Amazon store. There's a link down below to the Amazon store. Check it out or find something else you like, but you need one. Another thing I think all RVers should carry with them is some sort of a water filtration system. I don't care if it's as simple as going to Walmart or Camping World and picking up one of those blue filters that screw right onto the spigot, or if you go to the most elaborate system known to man, there's some sort of a water filtration system, in my mind, is a must. You just never know what kind of water you're going to run into as you travel around the country. It's just a crapshoot. We happen to use this Beach Lake 2 cartridge system right now. We have 2 different micron filters inside these cartridges. From here, ours runs to a charcoal filter system, and then it goes to a automated head water softening system, and then it goes on into the coach. And then after it goes through all that, we still run all of our drinking water and cooking water through a Berkey water filter system. So you can never be too safe with the quality of water that you're drinking, not just for you, but don't forget about your pets. Water filtration, think about it. There's going to come a time you're going to want some sort of jack pads. I carry an assortment of jack pads. The ones I primarily use are just these inexpensive red stack up blocks. Bad thing about these, look at the waffling on the bottom. They want to pick up rocks and mud and dirt, all that kind of thing. So to go along with that, I carry an assortment of plywood pads and horse stall pads. I keep a few pads right here in my truck cargo bay. You'll see I have quite a few in there. Then I keep some plywood pads right down inside here. And a few more stack up pads. Now what I will typically do if we're on dirt or gravel, I'll throw down the plywood pad, then I'll stack up my red stackable pads. That way if I'm in gravel or dirt, it doesn't allow dirt and gravel to be built up inside those little waffle areas down below. There are a lot of ways to take care of your leveling pad needs. People build them out of dimensional lumber, all kinds of things. But we've been on the road for 10.5 years at the time of this video. All I've ever used is plywood pads like I showed you, and leveling blocks like this. So even though I think there are a lot of ingenious ways to take care of your leveling pad needs, I'm pretty sure we're just going to stick to our old proven way. Again, like a broken record, these are listed down below in our Amazon store in case you care to check them out. If not, that's okay too. Another thing I think RVers should carry with them is a good grease gun. Doesn't have to be a high-end grease gun, just a good quality, reliable grease gun. It seems to be more important to us now that we're in a fifth wheel instead of our Class A days, but even during the Class A days, there are places that we need to take care of. Now in the fifth wheel, it's not a regular thing, but twice a year there are spots I do stop and grease, and keeping those spots nice and lubed up helps on the wear and tear. I do also, for me, I typically use a Valvoline. It's a high temperature red grease. It's just what I use. If you're interested in this grease gun, it is located in our Amazon store. There's a link down in the description below. But keep this in mind, help keep the wear and tear down on your rigs. Another thing I think all RVers should have is an EMS system. In other words, an electrical management system. Let me try and get the camera into the compartment to show you what we have installed. All right, let me get over here. Can you see that black box right there? That's a Progressive Industries EMS system. So it's important to have that. I mean, it protects you against, some high voltage, low voltage, reverse polarity, open neutrals, open grounds, all kinds of stuff that you might run into while you're hooked up in an RV park. So our unit happens to be wired in. Every RV we've ever had, we've always done the wired in version. But you don't have to go through the trouble and expense to have the wired in version. You can buy them that you can plug into the pedestal at the RV park, plug your RV into that unit, and you have the same protection. Just keep in mind that it's outside. People may see it. In today's world, you may want to find a locking system to go on that device just to keep it safe. Regardless, in today's technology, all the electronics inside your coach, it's well worth having the safety of an EMS system. Another thing to consider is an assortment of electrical adapters. So for example, here I have a 25-foot 50 amp extension cord. I carry a 50 amp to 30 amp adapter, and I carry a 50 amp to 110 adapter. You never know when these will come in handy. If you don't have them, you're going to wish you did. Another thing I think all RVers should carry with them is a good compressor. So this one happens to be a porta-cable pancake compressor. It's rated at 150 psi. I picked this compressor up probably 14 years ago, back when we were doing the Class A thing. I think I had to have 125 psi in those tires. We use 120 psi in the RV tires we have now, and I put 110 psi in the truck tires. So this is well rated for the job. When you pick up your compressor, be sure to pick up a good air hose. I like to make sure the air hose is nice and flexible. Don't get those cheap plastic ones. You'll cuss yourself over and over and over again. And if you do it right and you get an air hose that's long enough, we keep this compressor in the basement, and I can turn the compressor on and reach all the tires on the RV without taking the compressor out of the basement with this long air hose. And in most campsites, I can get the truck close enough I can put air in the truck tires if I need to as well. Of course, it's always handy for bicycle tires. And then make sure you get yourself a good tire chuck. The one I picked up is a Milton. You'll find this same brand used in a lot of tire shops around the country. You can really trust the reading on the PSIs here. No problem at all. Just a nice handy tool. There you go. Air compressor. It'll be your friend. Another thing you should have plenty of are fire extinguishers. I think all RV manufacturers, when you go buy an RV, they're going to provide you with a fire extinguisher by the front door. But don't stop there. We keep another fire extinguisher under the kitchen sink. Dang, I should empty the garbage first. Hide that. We keep another fire extinguisher in the bathroom. We keep a fire extinguisher next to my side of the bed. We keep another fire extinguisher in the basement of the coach. And we keep a fire extinguisher inside the compartment of the truck. And this door is never locked, so we have easy access to it. All right, there you go. Hopefully those ideas got you thinking a little bit. And as I mentioned a few times throughout the video, if you want to go down below in the description and click on our Amazon store, all those things can be found there. Most of those things can be found there. And if you decide to click on those items and purchase those through our Amazon store, you will not pay a penny more than you would by buying those items through Amazon any other way. But we will get a small kickback that does help out our channel. I just want to make you aware of that. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that's just a few of the things that we carry with us that we consider essential items. There are a lot more things we do carry with us, and I'll do another video in the future talking about those creature comfort items and other good ideas to carry with you as an RVer. So you may want to be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss that at a future date. While you're doing that, how about giving us a thumbs up and leave us a comment down below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Maybe there's some items I left out that you consider essential. I know one right now that I didn't get in the video that I should have. See if you know what that is. Leave us a comment down below what you consider essential that we left out of our list. As always, have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.